Can't protect you from becoming your parents, but we can protect your home and auto when you bundle with us.
You don't know? Woo! That was wild. Gotta see the numbers. Ooh, you know what's got me? One of those amazing things. I get a close look at his foot, about a size 15. Scrap it $14, let it fly. With all that going on, catch probability 31%. Yeah! Touchdown, baby. What? You thought a little toe tickle was gonna stop me? Come on now. That's just that. AWS is out.
All right, guys. Good morning. So right now we are looking at. So we switched up. We're looking at NEO first. We're also looking at Boeing. Wish is a little too high. The reason why we switched up from SPE and Laser. Laser went up a lot pre-market, so I'm expecting for this to drop. So it's already at the first mark I wanted to get at. The next mark is a little up there. It can get there, but not too sure. It's 50-50 from the support, and it's a little high. I like NEO where it's at right now. NEO is in between support and the average. And NEO's, I might hold NEO overnight since we do have some new news on NEO. NEO awarded U.S. patent big ass number method and system for providing secure OV something. And then BA, Alaska Air Boost Boeing 737 and options to 120 to largely replace Air Fleet. So, I like Boeing for 230.
As a hotel operator, reliable equipment is essential to give your guests
All right.
a memorable experience. SoCal Gas is here to help by offering our biggest rebates ever on energy-efficient pool heaters and service equipment.
So the markets are red. So we're looking at Wish. Looking at Wish, it's a little high. Boeing and NEO.
This holiday season, shine a light on the world of money with Greenlight, the debit card for kids. They'll love learning to earn, save, and spend wisely for one bright holiday and an even brighter future. Sign up
Now, Leo's next level of resistance is 54. So I'm looking to jump into this and hold this for like a $2.50 run.
Right now, with a COVID economic relief deal reached, vaccine rollout underway, and new fears of a mutant strain.
Boeing, I would get in there for like a $7 run.
Markets this morning opening.
Wish looks like it's going to keep going higher.
It's important to remember, the market is not the economy. And as important as the $900 billion relief package is, it is a step. It is only a step. It's not a solution to the economic crisis we face. The majority of relief in this package expires in early spring, and we don't expect widespread vaccination until the summer. As long as we've got this health crisis, our economy will not recover. So the big question, how will the Biden administration handle that? I want to bring in Brian Deese. He's President-elect Biden's pick for the Director of National Economic Council in the White House, and this is his first TV interview since that very important appointment. Brian, thank you so much for joining us. You are walking into a really
Waiting, Boeing's dropping, NEO's not sure what it wants to do.
The economy day one.
Well, look, we are in the middle of a historic and unprecedented economic crisis. And we're very heartened to see the bipartisan activity on that.
I'm waiting on NEO to give me a good entry.
Clear message that the American people wanted to see action.
Wish is too high.
Together, and this is a
What about Laser? Laser look like it sold off just a little bit.
First step, and so I think we need to be prepared that the economy early next year is going to continue to be very challenged. And we're going to need to act quickly and decisively to address the health challenge and address our economic challenges, which are inextricably.
JMI looks like it's starting to climb. It's not in a bad spot either. It's in a decent spot. but it is extremely high, and it's been going up for a couple days now. So I'm going to be waiting for BA or for NEO to give us a solid entry. Looks like NEO might give us that entry pretty soon, and hold on to this for like a couple bucks.
Farms of Americans across the country, testing, tracing, and getting our schools open. The commitment that the president-elect has made to have most of our schools open within 100 days. We're going to need resources, and we're going to need to work with Congress to get that done. We're also going to need to provide additional direct support to families and businesses that are going to continue to be struggling in this economy. And again, this investment here is an important down payment, but there's going to be more to do.
With all due respect, if you're going to need Congress to get that support,
so I'm going to jump here and this next candle.
Well, look, number one, we are seeing bipartisanship happening in Washington right now. A lot of people for a long time said that wasn't possible. The election sent a message.
So I'm just going to wait on NEO to give us a good entry. BA looks like it's going to keep going down.
That said, there are resources in this legislation.
So I do believe NEO is gonna dive a little bit more for us before it starts to climb.
We're going to be ready to take those steps. But look, we're going to need to continue to work together. We're going to need to find ways to do that, and that's going to be high on our agenda.
will using the Defense Production Act be part of that? President Trump was very, very reluctant to use it, and that impacted our ability to get the vaccine, to get all that we needed for testing, to get ventilators.
Look, I'm not going to get ahead of ourselves, but I will say...
I would like NEO to go down just a little bit more.
We're going to look to marshal all of the tools of government and to work with the private sector to have a comprehensive plan on vaccine distribution and on the medical equipment necessary to address the immediate impacts of people getting sick, and also testing and tracing, particularly with a focus on schools. So in all of these cases, we're going to look to marshal the tools of government, and we are where we need partners.
All right, so I believe NEO is going to give us a good entry real soon. BA also looking like it's going to keep going down for a little bit. We're just waiting for NEO to give us... I would like it to go to 48.60. That would be one of the best things that could happen right now.
Of President Trump's corporate tax cut, saying he didn't need to go all the way down to 21%. Maybe we're going to make our way back up to like a 28%, which is not an extreme view. Gary Cohn, who had your position in the Trump administration, has actually said the same thing. Was that campaign?
So I'm going to go ahead and jump in there.
We're actually going to work on that.
So our cost base right now is $48.99. So $49 is our cost base right now. So we're gonna ride this to 50 bucks. We're gonna get $1 out of this. I am gonna buy 2 more.
Domestically in the United States. One of those elements is reforming the corporate tax code.
If it drops a little bit more.
Senseless provisions that were in the 2017 tax cut. And that's a plan that I think has worn well with time and is going to be the starting point for how we operate going forward.
But let's get out of 3,000 feet and comprehensive plans and come to my dinner table tonight, sitting across from my mother, who would say to you, we are 2 very distinct economies. That existed before the pandemic, and now it's even worse. The rich got richer.
So I would like to sell it here,
What are you in your job?
which I think you can do. But if it comes back down to where I bought it at, I'm going to buy 2 more, seeing that I have enough for 2 more.
Prices is core to how we're going to think about addressing everything that we can do. And so what does that mean in very practical terms? It means we've got 10 million people who are still unemployed. 4 million of them have been employed for more than unemployed.
So this is where I got in.
So we're going to need to invest in ways that actually bring job creation back and help pull people who are having the hardest time and who've been out of the labor market for a long time back in. We're going to need to think about these things as intertwined. The care crisis, the lack of child care, that's keeping people, particularly women, from being able to get into the workforce. There's scarring effects that could happen if that goes on too long. This crisis is particularly hitting people of color and hitting black and brown businesses. We're going to need a strategy to directly go at that. And lastly, the impacts of climate change are inextricably linked with the impacts of this crisis. And so as we think about investing in job creation, we need to focus on those areas where we can build a clean energy economy, put people to work doing the things that our nation needs done. So this set of issues is going to be core to everything that we
Okay.
do. Wake up in the morning,
So now we're 20 in, or 18 in, which is going to give us a better run.
actually delivers for those Americans, like your mother, like others who are sitting across the kitchen table.
So
How am I going to get through the next month? How am I going to get through the next year? And is there a brighter future on the end of this?
What is one key
So we're gonna go ahead and write this for
that you don't need Congress's help on?
Well, look, I mean, we've identified, the president-elect identified a whole raft of
Just give me
issues
one.
where-
49.55. So we're gonna go ahead and put this up here for 49.55.
And the idea that when we use federal taxpayer dollars, we should be encouraging the purchase of American
Thinking they can get to that. I think it can. We're gonna hold on to this for a couple days. If it doesn't reach my level today, then I'll hold on to it.
Executive branch. We invest more than $500 billion a year. We should be tightening those rules to make sure that when we're using taxpayer dollars, we're buying American goods and leading to more U.S. job creation.
Do you think that addresses people who are in crisis right now? Would that be the first thing you'd want to work on?
Look, we are going to have to work on issues across the board, and we're going to have to be prepared to address a multiple set of issues. That's what crisis economic policy making is about. But if you want to talk about an issue that has gone too long with politicians talking about it and not taking action, I think Buy America is a great example, and one that does address an issue that is very dear to a lot of people who wake up in the morning worried about, is their job going to be subject to increased international competition using taxpayer dollars to actually invest in the United States? It's concrete, it's practical, and it can help a lot of people.
There are millions of people across this country who don't give a hoot about politics, but they absolutely support buying American. Brian, I really appreciate you joining me today, and good luck to you. You got your work cut out for you.
Thank you very much.
When we come back, a new part of the front line in the COVID-19 battle. Overwhelmed and underfunded. We're talking
So we sold it a penny under where we wanted to sell it at. For some reason, it wouldn't give me my target, but it's fine. I do believe it's going to go up higher than that, than what it's at then. So we did sell it. We wanted to sell it at
Bill assumed his mayo was the best choice.
49.55. We ended up selling at
Real mayo is made with high quality ingredients at a price you can feel.
49.54. Well, kind of. I guess it is 55 cents. So we ended up selling it.
Any time of year is a bad time if you're an animal who's being abused or neglected. But winter can make the suffering even worse for these animals. Many who've been left outside in the cold.
The endless suffering, endless pain, just lack of hope. There is
So we basically sold it on the top of that candle right there. This is where we sold it at. I didn't want to give it more room, since 55 cents is my base hit for Neo and for J Maya. For Wish is actually a 32 cents jump. Is what Wish is. As we can see, so Wish was close to the high of yesterday, as we see here, right? That's where basically, well, was it the high yesterday? Or was that the
Animal Champion t-shirt. This limited edition item won't last. So
that was the high of Thursday, 23.75, right? So knowing that that is a level of support, that it did bounce up over for a whole day, then came back down under, couldn't pass that, passed it just a little bit, but then went back under. So I do believe, and plus it opened up high. So, but you can see here from this point, let's just say you went in halfway, 23.34 to where it's at right now, 23.59. You know, so, but it is a little high. That I don't like the way where it's at right now. And we take a look at Laser real quick. One of the stocks that I was looking at, it did jump a lot pre-market. It actually came up almost from where it was at, from 38, 35. It went up almost $4. So obviously that was something that I wasn't going to be looking at.
CarShield covers most makes and models from 5,000 to 150,000 miles.
It went up way too much. I was expecting for this to come down at least at 35.23, being the level of resistance. So if a stock opens up higher than the level of resistance that it was trading the previous day, I would like for it to drop a little bit towards back that, or a little bit under, for me to get interested in getting in there. It wasn't too high that it opened, but the fact of the matter that it did open up way high, or it did pick up $3-4 pre-market, it was just too much for me. And we do see that it does give a decent gain. I mean, this is $2 and change right here, guys. So it's not bad. And it did open up in a decent level. It just did, after gaining $3 pre-market, it barely gave any of that back. I don't know if it's gonna keep going. It might drop a little more. Then SBE, being the other stock we're looking at, also jumped up pre-market, but not by, it jumped up pre-market and then came back down to the level of resistance, which is another one. And it opened up in a decent level. As we can see here, this only moved $1.50 from this point to this point. So this would have been a decent one to get into, seeing that it did come back down a little bit, but not by much. So from 40.33 to 39. So yeah, it did give a decent amount. So that would have been something we were looking at. But NEO opened up in a prime spot. NEO was just awesome where it opened up at.
Social services for things like food and childcare, so they can safely self-isolate. I want to go to NBC's Megan Fitzgerald. She's on the ground in LA. And we've also got Maura Barrett outside Penn Medical.
So we gave NEO some room. And then we'll talk about BA in a minute and where I think BA is going to go today, and maybe Moderna as well, and NVAX.
Well, as you know, Steph, right now, obviously, priority is frontline medical workers, along with those who are in nursing homes. But on Sunday, a CDC panel voted to recommend that the second batch of vaccine go to.
Yeah, we'll talk about J-Maya and DraftKings as well. So NEO did do amazing yesterday. It went up almost $4 yesterday. It took almost a whole day to get $4. So we do know that it can move $4. It can move $3, $2 for sure. That's for sure. So, but we want these base hits because we don't know what could happen. Things can happen at any given moment with these stocks. You know, some news can break out, and then the market makers, the people in the actual exchange, will get that news before we do. I mean, it could be seconds, but even in seconds, these things can drop hard. So what I do is I average the pop of $1 mover, $3 mover, $4 mover. So all these different stocks make different pops. Like Shop, a pop for Shock is like $15. That's a pop. So since we don't know any of these news that can happen, that might break out and just cause the stock to drop, like DKNG did, I think it was Friday, where it was riding high, and all of a sudden, boom. And that was the news because a bill didn't pass or some shit like that. So
we don't talk about them often, but they have a very, very important one that's really difficult. Many people aren't even taking their call.
So we don't know, but we know it can move these pops real quick, and even that's not a guarantee. But we want to get that guarantee. We want to get somewhat of that guarantee, you know. So we average out the pops of what they can move. So we move. We know what we do. What we do is we see what they can move the whole day, right? and we'll go back 5-10 days and see what the average is. So say if a stock is moving one day 15, the next day it's moving 6, but the next day it's moving 11, and the day before it moved just 4, but the day before that it moved 13. So you do the average of all that and what it can do. So let's just give that stock an average of maybe say, a $10 mover on average, and then you start going to see what the pops would be, like from where you would get in halfway to where you would possibly sell, looking at resistance and support. So you gauge you're doing that. So you're like, okay, well, if you can get a decent amount of shares of a $500 stock with a pop being, well, say it's a $10 move all day on average. So you probably want to do, just to be conservative, if you can afford it, get like a $2.50 pop on a $500 stock, or a $3 pop, and just ride that out. It might take, depending on how fast you get in, when it gives you a decent entry to get in, so say you get it in the first 10 minutes and you get a solid entry on a stock that moves $10 on average, but a pop is about $3. So you want to do a $2.50 pop. It could take you because the floats are so high, it could take you maybe an hour, maybe less. Like Zoom's an expensive stock, but that sucker moves quick. So we got into NEO right in here on this green candle. Reason I got into NEO on this candle here, because I followed my support and resistance training. You do your support and resistance. You look at the charts every way you can to understand and give you a clear picture. So my strategy wasn't in play here, but I did, since 86.60 was the level of resistance from yesterday that became support, 86.60. So it came down to that level. It was about 20 cents away from that level. So what I did was I gave it room to grow, to see if this was gonna pop back up. So it did. I got in a little less than halfway, and I wanted to sell it at 55 cents, knowing this can move more. I wanted to sell it up here, right, for like $1, for $1 entry more or less, or $1 exit. But also taking into consideration the massive move that it did yesterday. So if you take a look at, and with NEO, if this was any other stock, I probably wouldn't touch it. But NEO has a history. So as you can see here, this is the 5-day, 5-minute. If you look at the 5-day, 5-minute, it's overextended, meaning this could drop any minute now, right? So we take a look at the 10-day, also overextended. It's already past the resistance and support from yesterday being here. And if we take a look at the 180, we can see that we have room to go. And with such good news coming out on this, I believe it has so it does have 3 layers to go. 54.18 being the next, 56.98, 58.79, 58.81. So I do believe it's going to surpass all that. So because NEO gives us a clear picture that it's capable of doing this, for NEO you need to look at the news, and you need to look at where it's at going back earlier in the month, in the year, to see what it's done and where it can go. So if we take for example Laser, for example, as a stock that I believe still has room to grow. As you can see here, it's already passing its next level that it was supposed to pass, which was 38.14, right? It's trading right there. So the next level would be 42.12, 44.43, 44.78. So as you can see here, it's sold off down here. But if we take a look at the 5 and the 10, that story tells us it's overextended. On the 10, it's overextended, and on the 5, it's way overextended. See what I'm saying? So you have to look at all these things like that. So I believe Laser for the day is too high. I would like for it to drop just a little bit, not much, maybe around this 35.23 area, maybe a little bit less, depending, because this is a growing stock. So if we take a look at Moderna real quick, Moderna gives us a different story as well. So we can see Moderna on the 5-minute chart, it's prime. Like it looks like it's about to go, right? So we go based off that, and then we go on the 10-day chart. You can see still on discount, prime for a couple swing trades, right? And then we take a look at the 180. So if we take a look at the 180, we can see that it went up massively. Being at 90 bucks was the level that this was trading at for quite some time, and now it's all the way up here. So it did sell off, it cooled off. So right now we're at 136.89. We're already past that level of support right here. As you can see that it started back here last month, near the end of the month. So almost a whole month for this, right? Look, it bounced, goes up, bounces, goes up, stayed in that area for a decent time, came back down, bounced up, went below that, bounced up, came back down. Now it's trading below that. So we can see that Moderna could have a decent average to go up for $7, at least $10 for $7 for sure. So we're waiting for the only thing is with Moderna.
Let's think about representation and why it matters. I want to introduce you to someone very special. This beautiful little girl is
the thing with Moderna is that it's a biotech stock. Any bad news on any of the drugs they make can cause the stock, the price to go down extremely hard. And if you're holding that, and thinking because it's such an expensive stock, it's a good company, they came out with a vaccine for COVID and it's dropping, you think it'd go up. Pfizer went from 44 bucks back down to 37 where it lives at. So I don't know if Moderna is going to do that. I think Moderna is just going to maintain this level. It may drop 20 bucks more, but right now it's primed to jump into for a couple days. But it's also very risky being a biotech stock. So you want to get the pops out of these. You want to get in and out. So it being a $134 stock, you can get at least $2 out of this bad boy. So if you can get a decent amount of shares for a $2 run. So as we can see here, at this low here, you would have done a red to green move, it being already at oversold for all the way from down here. So it's already oversold for 645 all the way to, for about 10 minutes it's been an oversold. So this is primed to go up. So I would have definitely bought here, knowing that my lines are way up here because of the fact that it's 10 minutes on oversold and we can expect a pop. So this is what a pop for Moderna looks like. So you get in at 133.34 and it sells at 134.89. So $1.50. So we know we can get $1.50 out of this easy on the low, knowing that this is probably going to continue to trade us a little bit lower. Although we are doing this is looking like a bull flag right here. So you can see here it's starting to take place. So this being the base, the pole being this one right here, going up, coming back down, and then if this one comes about to the same level as this red candle, then it should pop up at least 50 cents to $1. That's what we're looking to see. Matter of fact, we have some time before I head out, so let's just see that's what it does. So we wanted to pass this level. In order for it to be a bull flag, it needs to pass this red candle right here, okay? And then it needs to pass by this. So after that, I think from that point on, it will definitely go here if it creates a bull flag.
Certainly makes our day a whole lot better. What has the last 9 months been like for you?
It's been tough. Ivy has a bit of a compromised immune system, so we have been home quite a bit. A lot of her therapies have been canceled, so we've kind of been parents and therapists and caregivers. But having things like this, like having her baby, has made things a lot better.
Alright, so what it's doing right now, it's found support. So this is support right here. So if you were in here, it's giving you multiple opportunities. Because I would have got out here on this one here for $1.50 plus run. But say you were bullish and you think it's going to go to this next level, maybe being the top of this candle right here. 135.42. So it looks like it found a level of support. It's like the bull flag. It might break down. It still has room to be a bull flag as long as it doesn't surpass this level right here.
That is some birthday gift to him. Hallie Jackson picks up breaking news coverage next.
So trading, you want to trade, you want to get, if you're day trading and you want to get your money, preferably the best way to do it is the first 15 minutes where the most volume is, first 15-30 minutes to get in and out of a trade. So you really want to position yourself right. So you want to know where it's opening at, what it did. So NEO opened up at a decent level. We got a nice run out of it. So I did wait for it to come down here. I got in at 49 even right there. Well, 48.99.6. So it did open right. So the reason why I want to get in and out. So one, it did a lot yesterday. So I do expect for NEO to drop a little bit today. I do expect for this to come back down to this level, 47.30 being the level of support from yesterday's pre-market, but also being the level of resistance from yesterday's sell, or the previous day sell, not yesterday, which would be Friday's. It's also gone up quite a bit, so I don't want to be caught holding this, although I do think that this is going to be going super high today, or this week, not today, this week. So we do have that news lingering about being delisted, but we also got this news that came out, awarded U.S. patent. So I don't know. So the reason we go for these small pops, is to build our capital up. So we're green right now for the month, which is pretty good. I think we're almost at $100 for the month. I will export my earnings real quick.
Give your family the security they need at a price you can afford, even if you're not in perfect health. Select quality shop you save.
There are 0 reasons not to get into a Volkswagen, especially now that you can start shopping from home. Click, call, or come by today. Visit our Volkswagen Sign and Drive event and lease a 2020 T1S today with $0 on the first month's payment and 0 to signing.
It's the Command the Season sales event here at Kia of Alhambra, where you can get holiday bonus cash and amazing deals on select vehicles, like a Kia Optima that you can lease for only $99 a month, all backed by a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Come to Kia of Alhambra.
The holidays are full of tradition.
So let me see here real quick.
With a new Hyundai, filled with available features like blind spot cameras and oversized touchscreens. And with the big savings of Hyundai holidays, things are
I really gotta put this back in my journal that I made.
The longer you look, the more there is to like.
So I don't have to keep doing this.
Or get 0% APR for 60 months. Only at your SoCal Hyundai dealer.
Any minute now, you will see Dr. Anthony Fauci and Health Secretary Alex Azar join frontline healthcare workers to roll up their sleeves and get a shot of Moderna's coronavirus vaccine. You see it on the side of your screen. Some people in the room ready to kick that off in just the next minute or two. We're going to bring that moment to you live when it happens. With these high-profile vaccinations coming as infections...
Yeah, guys, we have now reached the $100 mark. So we have really surpassed November's earnings, as you can see. So we're going up, as you can see. So I will show you real quick. So this is what we're looking at. We're taking these base hits, real trades with a small account, trading larger cap stocks, taking these 50-cent runs, dollar runs, $2-3 runs. So as you can see, we're only red 38 cents that day. These 3 days, we're holding on to 2 different stocks. One of them gave us a decent gain. The other one did not. We ended up breaking even off 2 trades. So we sold that one stock at a loss, and the other stock we closed with a gain, with just being 38 cents being the loser for that. So almost break even. So we're at $101, $100 right now, and we still have 1, 2. I don't think we're opening on Friday. 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have 6 days left. See if we can go ahead and maybe make $70. See if we can do $70. So for that, we need to do double digits every single day. So as you can see, we'll go to November. As you can see, November was like a $30-something for the whole month. Okay, with this hefty loss right here, and then this loss right here, and then this one actually being this loss right here. So as you can see where we started, how we've improved over time, and this is where I'm right now. So we're gonna try and finish green for the month of December. I didn't want that red day there, but you know, it is what it is. But 1 red day so far is not bad. Okay, so that's where we're at. How do we get to this level, guys? So you know, we're doing a small account challenge. So you know, we've already raised $134 in 2 months. First month being $30-something, and the second month being over 100. So as you can see, we've already improved that. We already made $40 more, and we're not even done with the month. So we can definitely do another $30-40. The reason we want those, or $70, if we can do $70, that puts us, or $65, that puts us over the edge to start trading with 1,000. Well, yeah, about over 900 each day, which is kind of close to what we're doing now. So we definitely need $165 to do that. We can definitely reach that goal, guys. It's definitely reachable. I know some of you started trading with 15 like I did. I traded with 17.
And he has tried to stay above the politics of all of this. He's tried to provide accurate medical information, scientific information all along. And so to see him following, of course, President-elect Biden, and last week we had Vice President Pence and others, to see him now.
All right, so back at it, guys. We're gonna. So you know, how do we get to this point, guys? You know, you do your due diligence, you do your homework. Definitely good to be part of a chat room to see what other people are talking about, gauging. I give you guys my picks. I think I traded all those picks except for maybe 1 or 2 days where I decided to jump on something else because I saw something better. So, you know, right now on the watch list, it's a little bit more green than red, but it is a lot of red. So, you know, we take these smart plays, man, you know. So you do your homework. What did the stock do yesterday? What did it do the last 5 days? I mean, does it have room to grow? Is it a good stock? What's the news on this? Is it hot? Is it not? Is the hotness of the stock gonna stop pretty soon? You know, you gauge all these things. So, you know, we like to play stocks that are good stocks like NEO, and then we take a look at DKNG. I think DKNG had to drop for me just a little bit, which it kind of did. So yeah, so it did kind of drop for me. See, because the next level is $54. I mean, that's just you know, it's right. I mean, it's not too high, but it's right there. It could definitely reach that. And then the level after that would be 55.84. 55.34, and then 55.84. So it does have some room to grow. And then right after that, it's the $60-something range. But you know, we know what this stock can do because we you know, we do the homework. We're like, okay, what has this stock done so far? This is where it was. it had this massive drop down here. Now it's trading at this level here. So, you know, we're trading prime territory. So we definitely go to the 54.84, and then the most recent levels of resistance would be right over here, 54.70, and then 55.34, and then up and up from there. So these are levels of resistance. But if you take a look at the 5 and the 10-day, it is overextended. Actually, you can see it's real nice. It dropped here real nice, and they came back up. So we're definitely back in play. We were already in play, but you know, when a stock is doing this massive run for 3 days straight already, it does drop. It gives all that back and start back from zero. Then that's telling me that, okay, we can definitely run for another $1 for sure. Knowing that this can do that, it's $1.50, $2 on average, and a 55 cents pop on average for sure. So we try to play stocks that, if for any reason we happen to get in the wrong position, the setup fails, but the setup was there, it just goes the wrong way, or maybe you just got a little too antsy, too jumpy, but you did hold on to your patience for just a little bit. You get in, it drops. So when do you sell? So you should definitely have, you know, a risk management, and give yourself a stop loss. So you do the average. Like, one is what you're willing to lose on the trade if it does go. Like, what's your limit? 2, okay, how far down does this stock go before it reaches a certain level? So say you gave the stock room to go up or down. Say you're gauging it from this point right here. Okay, this is where you're gauging it. So where it opened at the average right here wouldn't be too bad. Now it did lose some momentum, but it came back up right here at yesterday's resistance, a high of yesterday pre-market, and that's where it opened at. So for me, I would rather see this drop a little bit, preferably either to this support level or this purple line right here, or even better down here. But don't think it's going to do that. So let's just say you give it room, right? And this is a stock that you're looking at. So now we reach the level. You see where it reached that purple level right there? So now we go in for a 55 cents run. Maybe a little more. So this is 53.44. It's already at 53.99. So, you know, we got a 50 cents runner right there before it comes back down. Seeing that this is the level of resistance that it's having a hard time breaking, it's give it multiple chances. Or maybe to that level. I don't know. We'll see. But this point is, say you get in here, the setup is correct, and it just keeps going down here. So we do know that we have levels of support that it needs to reach to before it can really bounce. So being the first one, 52.91. So I would say maybe 5 cents below that would be my stop loss for this stock, knowing that it can definitely do a bounce. And hold on to it, and you know. But then my stop trigger to gain money would be a little bit higher than just 55 cents, because then we know that DraftKings can definitely bounce real nice the next day, because it can definitely lose everything it lost, surpass that, and make some more on top of that. So we know it can do that. It's not that it does it every now and again. No, this stock does that often. So we're safe with this stock for the time being, unless it goes bankrupt, which I don't see it happening anytime soon. So, you know, then we trade the NEOs as well. Seeing that where I sold was the perfect level of resistance. So I was going to sell it just a cent higher. But I think that was perfect right there. So we did get what we want. We got that 50 cents run. This is what we're trying to do. We're trying to go green every day.
Well, there we go. And as she gets this, you know, there are some people who are a little concerned about getting this. Among them,
picking the best stocks for us to trade the next day, looking at it again the next morning, analyzing the stock price, the technical, and the fundamental. Look at everything. You need to look at everything with this. This is you know, this is your money on the line, so you definitely need to make that happen. I don't think Neo's done. I think Neo, after this little sell-off, I think Neo is definitely going to climb back up. So I think Neo is going to reach the $50 mark today. I do think it's going to go up to here.
Let's listen to his remarks.
So a little bit over 50 bucks. It is so super close, so I definitely can do that. That's why I originally wanted to sell out anyway. So you know, so you that's what you do, guys. You know, you just gauge the stocks. BA was a stock that I believe was going to do good today. Also, it did sell off for us a little bit. Now I think it's going to start doing its climb back up. You look at this climb here. So it'd say you got in halfway because your line said you get in right here at 219.13. It goes all the way to 220.63. So you know, it's $1 and change pop right there. So we could definitely do a $1.25, $1.50 pop on this.
A vaccine that essentially had its origination in the fundamental basic research that's conducted.
So I prefer to get in and get out. You take these base hits, guys. So no, real quick, we'll look at BA. So this is BA. So we see that it did drop off massively here. I don't know what the news was on this was for that day. Some delivery or something didn't go through, so that's what that drop was. But you can see it recovered all of that in one day. So going into today with some decent news, I do expect for this stock to give some pushback, which it already did. So we're already at support going back to Friday before this drop right here, and then our next level of resistance would basically be that high of that pre-market candle, 224 and then 228. So this would be a hold. Definitely seeing how this can go back up. You got the vaccine in play, the stimulus came out, so all the airline stocks should start flying up. I do like Boeing. I own Boeing long term. But I still think Boeing's gonna I still think it's cheap. Alright guys, so we'll do one last recap on Neo, where I got in and why, so you guys can have a good understanding.
I myself am a patient of the NIH Clinical Center. I'm so pleased to be here for this official kickoff of the vaccine developed by the NIH.
So Neo ran up pre-market, gave some of that back, did open up a little high compared to yesterday's trading session. It was already opening at the level of resistance from yesterday and then turned into support. Knowing that Neo does that often, so if Neo opens at that, drops a little bit, and then gives us a nice bounce, that's what it does. It could definitely move 50 cents, 65 cents off a sell-off when that happens. When it opens close to this resistance support from the previous day, it normally drops for us and then has a nice little bounce, which gave us here about a 50 cents bounce, 55 cents bounce from here, from this point down here to this point right here. Gave us a nice little pop right there. So what I did was I waited exactly for that, knowing that Neo does that. I waited for this long bearish candle right here, and then I saw this weaker one here, so I knew that it was about to change over. I was hoping it was going to change over following history of price actions and candlesticks, and that's exactly what it did. And also, it didn't go further down here, which is where I would have loved to have gone, 48.60. But so knowing that it came close to there but didn't quite get there, gave me another indication. Okay, I'm gonna get in here. I let the candle swim just a little bit to see what it was gonna do. It did give me an indication it was gonna go up, so I ended up getting right here, which was a perfect price point entry. We rode that for 50 cents going up. Okay. Seeing that we sold for 55 cents, so we did sell it for 55 cents, 54 cents, so a penny under. So we rode that from here to here, real nice. And luckily we did. So this is the reason why I do these little 55-cent pops, because we know we can get a guaranteed 55 cents pop up out of that. This was actually from this point on at 48.84 all the way to 49.60. that's more than the 50 cents pop. But we gauge it by if we were to get in halfway. So that way we can see what is the best pop for that certain stock that we're looking at can possibly give us, depending on how much the stock costs and so forth and so on. So knowing that NEO can give us a 55 cents pop off of a original run from the beginning to here of a 70 cents pop, we shaved it off a little bit to give us a good run. So, you know, if you kind of treat this as a Momo stock in a way, because if these Momo stocks are so cheap, they're like $1, $2, $3, $4, $5, you can buy a decent amount of shares. And you're looking for a 15 cents pop, 20 cents if you're lucky, 30, 50 is gold mine, 50 cents. So we know these stocks have pops. What are the pops? We look for the pops in the first 30 minutes, what it can do. Now, it can give us a decent pop if it opens up in a decent level, a decent place, and that gives us that pop. Now, if it opened up too high, like if it opened up above the average right here, around this area, then definitely a pop can still be in play, but I would definitely want to gauge my lines more than anything, being that it's already high, and being that where the level of support and resistance is from the previous day, how far can it go up, how far can it go down, okay? So, you know, we shave off a little bit, you know, we don't want to be greedy, you know, follow your rules, you know, if you start learning support, resistance, and what the stock has done, and what it does often when it's trading, you know, it has like characteristics about it, you know. You can learn that this stock there was a high possibility that from this point that it reached almost to this level here and gave it room. You did the right thing by giving it room to grow to see what it was going to do, and you say, you know what, this is good, this is it, this is where it's going to pop, and that's where you take it. You jump on in it and then take it from there, because support, resistance, previous price action, news, decent news, no news, whatever the case, always will support it for at least a pop of 50 cents at least. All right, guys.
Would undercut that same message by raising questions of whether or not the FDA, for example, was moving quickly enough, whether the process was moving fast enough.
Yeah, I think that's been unfortunate because it's undermined confidence in these institutions that have built up the public confidence and trust.
$45.
60 years.
You can do that.
By the way, Dr. Fauci, read his book.
All right, so seems like NEO is going to keep going lower and lower because the resistance was here. The new resistance is right underneath it. So this might be start slipping down for us. So.
Dr. Fauci and getting to the bottom of the AIDS.
Alright guys, well I hope you guys had a green day, and you know, I do encourage everyone to learn a strategy. If you're going off of my strategy, you know, if you want to implement stuff, try it out and on demand or paper money before you test it out with real money. If you're making money daily with a good strategy, then no reason to change it. Maybe add on to it, but test it out before you add anything onto it. I know I have over the years. So I found out that my lines do help me dramatically, but also a good history of the good sense of history of what the stock does, what it can do, where it came from, where it's going, what the pops are, if this is a pop or is it 2-3 day hold. You know, so I do all that, and then you definitely start to make money. You start building up your capital. As you can see, we've already doubled last month's gains, and we still have about 6 days to go. So we're going to keep picking that up as we go.
There's about a 3-week wait in between the 2 shots that you get in that series. From Moderna, it's about a month. And these 2 vaccines.
All right, guys. That does it for me. We're green again for the day. NEO being our winner. So seeing as we got in the perfect entry here, it did give us a nice little sell-off. So it is kind of a red to green move, but not really. A red to green is immediately jumping in when it turns green. and then boom, right in that way. So you probably would have gotten it a little bit lower, but that strategy is risky because if it does that, it can just come back down here. I wanted to see if it was going to come down here. That's what I wanted. It didn't do that, so I decided to jump in here. So 54 cents run, perfect. 1 penny short from where I originally wanted to sell it at, but we're okay. We're good with that.
This is not a new vaccine that all of a sudden we went from never knowing anything about mRNA vaccines to getting one a year later. This is the type of vaccine that's been in the works for the last 20 years. And they have been experimenting on them, they have been testing them, and they finally got to the point where they could use one now. And so they developed this very quickly, but didn't take any shortcuts like they mentioned.
We should note on the left side of your screen, you are seeing now some of the NIH Clinical Center frontline workers getting their...
That 1 cent that it didn't pop off for us gave us $1 less. So we're 8 cents short from being in double digits, which is fine. We're getting there, guys. We're getting there. So, the whole, one of the reasons to trading this way is you start seeing the charts different. You're like, you want to win. You can't force it. So we know we can't force it, but we use everything to our advantage. So we learn price action. We learn support, resistance. We learn our indicators, what they tell us. Doing one trade a day because you're only limited to one trade a day. If you're splitting your capital up, and you can only trade with a certain amount each day if you want to trade daily. So I think it's better to trade daily. Make these in the beginning $3 to $5 every day, and then picking that up from 3 to 5 to 6 to 10, and then from 10 to 15, and then from 15 to 20. And we can start getting there quicker and quicker. Next thing you know, your daily money to use that you split are getting higher and higher. So in that point, what you could do is you could have almost 3 different type of capital in there for 3 different trades. So you do a swing trade. So you surf your watch list for a stock that you definitely hold for maybe $5, maybe $8 up, going up. But it's not. It could happen in one day, but it may take 2 or 3. So you gauge it by everything you do to see where the stock can go, where it came from. So that's your swing trade. And let's just say that it hits for you. Say you buy 20 shares of say W, and it goes up $10 for you, and it sells midweek, and you've already been trading every single day from that Monday to Wednesday, 3 days already. You already have your swing trade already, and then so you have your money for your swing trade, and you have money split also for your day trading. And then you're doing that. That can definitely give you more than 1,000 a week. But to get to 1,000 a week, you need to prepare yourself with this. Doing this, you're teaching yourself, okay, well shit, I would like to trade more because I see some more entry spots, but maybe I shouldn't, because 1, I don't have the capital, and 2, it's probably not a safe thing to do at the moment, and so you teach yourself discipline doing this. It's basically what it is. And then you start learning charts more. So you can do 3 or 4 trades. Most traders that I talk to, these, they've been doing this for years, they do maybe like 4 trades a day, at most.
If you look at countries like New Zealand, for instance, New Zealand has done a fantastic job.
But they have like 4 or 5 swing trades that they're doing as well. So, they're up there. They're doing like 20, say 10 to 20 grand a day doing that shit. Their averages out for the week. It's insane. Really insane. Alright guys, we are done. We did the recap. We took a 54 cents run off this. We did sell the penny under, 1 penny under, which is fine because it went down right after that. Actually, it did go up where I wanted it to go. Just my trigger, I didn't put my trigger good enough yet. So we're good to go. Alright guys, so tomorrow I will send picks out tonight. seeing what we're looking at for tomorrow, and seeing what we can trade. So Neil is definitely going to be a contender on there. It's always going to be on there every single week until I feel that it's already past the level for us not to trade, or at least for me. Alright guys, I will see you guys tomorrow morning. I will try to log in a little bit earlier. I got a little late start, but we're good. Alright guys.
This thing is both too small and too late. We've been going